How's everybody doing? This is my review for Child's Play 3. I need to get my mouse off the screen. I need to learn to do that. Um, a lot of people seem to hate this movie. I'm not a hater of this movie. I'm just one of those people that just doesn't really like it very much. I can put this movie on every now and then and I'll be like, yeah, it was just pretty good, I guess. But it's never been a Child's Play / Chucky movie that I've never really wanted to put on and then just have a good time with. I can still have a good time with it every now and then. If I'm in the mood for a Chucky marathon, I'll probably throw this one on as well. But it's just never been one of those movies where when I think of a Chucky movie, I think of Child's Play 3. It's never been one of those occasions. It's probably never will be, but let's never say never, right? But despite all the hate that this movie has, there are some good aspects to this movie. And I do like the opening to this movie where it's kind of like going back to the original Child's Play where Chucky's like really mysterious, sneaking around, and you know it's Chucky, but the people don't know it's Chucky yet. Like the old guy that dies in the beginning of this movie, the guy who owns the toy company, I can't remember his name, like when he spills marbles on the floor, when he sends toys after him, and when he hits him in the face with a golf club. I just like the opening to that. And speaking of like the opening, the one-liner in this movie is awesome. Just like, don't fuck with the Chuck. I think a lot of the one-liners in this movie are pretty good. I think Chucky is at his best with his one-liners in this movie. I think if I were to do like my favorite Chucky one-liners, probably half of them would be Child's Play 3 because he's at his best in this movie and it's just also just really good. And I also want to talk about the new Andy actor. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. The new Andy actor is actually not that bad. I actually do like him. I don't prefer him over Alex Vincent, but I do think that he does a pretty good job, better than the one that was in the remake. I am not going to be reviewing the remake of Child's Play, just so I know. I don't know if I talked about that before, but yeah, I'm not going to be reviewing the Child's Play remake. The remake Andy pretty much sucks to me. But the new Andy that we get in this one, I think he's pretty good. But I do want Alex Vincent back, but for some reason they decided to jump 8 years later. But they do have a thing in this movie where they do have kids in that military school. Why couldn't just send Andy there as a kid? That's what I would probably have done. And then he could have gone along with Tyler more. But I guess they wanted to show Andy as an adult, but whatever. And De Silva, I think she's a good love interest in this movie, where at first I remember when I first watched this movie and when a couple of times when I rewatched it, I was like, she's boring. But now that I rewatch this every now and then, I do think that De Silva is a pretty good love interest, and I do hope to see her in the Chucky TV series, or maybe in another Chucky installment. Who knows? I don't know what Don Mancini will do. And the final act of this movie is awesome, where you're in a carnival ride, which it's not the safest because Chucky gets his face cut off by like a Grim Reaper thing, and then like the fan cuts him up to fucking bits. What I'll talk about in a couple minutes here, or a couple seconds, whatever I do. Like I said, the final act is awesome, and when Andy is trying to protect Tyler, shoots off Chucky's arm, and then cuts off his arm, and not off his arm, but his hand, and then he falls down into this fan and blows up into smithereens pretty much, which is awesome. This is probably my favorite Chucky death of this entire series. He is awesome. That death is awesome, and a lot of people will be like, why don't you just cut the killer up into little pieces? There you go. Now you don't have to yell at us about it. Now on to my negatives. I think this is probably going to be one of the only Chucky movies where I don't have many negatives, but I do have some. I will say, my negative of this movie, I don't really like Tyler very much in this movie. Now, I'm not blaming on the actor. He does pretty good in this movie, but I just don't like the character. Like, Chucky, he tried to get Andy's body twice, and he was a kid, and he realized he was a hard fucker to get, and now he tries to get a kid. Dude, go get, Bruce Willis, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, any one of the biggest actors or the biggest people on this planet, and then just go at Andy and just snap his neck in seconds as an adult. But no, you want to become a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old, however the fuck this kid is. You want to be a 10-year-old again, really? That's getting a little repetitive. You need to get an adult body, man. Just saying. And This movie is pretty much the same thing as the first two Child's Play movies where he tries to put his soul in a kid, but it's just set in a different setting at the army school pretty much. But Andy's still there, still protective, but he's not going after Andy, he's going at a different kid. I do like how they switch the kids a little bit, but it's just the same movie, different setting, which I'm glad that they changed with Bride of Chucky, which I will talk about tomorrow. And the Colonel Coxman, or I think that was his name, his death is pretty lame. It's just Chucky just holding up a knife and screaming and goes, and he just dies of a heart attack. That was pretty boring, and apparently in Don Mancini's script, he was supposed to be like a really angry guy, like the one guy in Full Metal Jacket, he's in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, Sheriff Hoyt. The Sheriff Hoyt guy in Full Metal Jacket, I forget his name. Arlie Ermey? No, I don't think that's his name, but hell. But whatever his name is, he was supposed to be like that character, and then I think that would have made his death make more sense. But yeah, I agree with Don Mancini. I think the character is just miscast and should have just been more angry, or just got as some guy that was more of an angry guy who can shout a lot. But maybe the guy who was casted as that could have done it, but he just didn't do it. I don't know what there was going on there, but I just think that his death is pretty lame. And this movie, you can tell, is a rushed sequel. Now, this movie, it didn't even come out a year after Child's Play 2. It came out in 1991, pretty much 1 year after Child's Play 2. But it didn't even come out a full year after Child's Play 2. This movie was rushed. I mean, Don Mancini already had a script written for this movie, but you could tell this movie was rushed just to come out the following year. You can tell that they just grabbed random actors, that some of them don't know how to act, some of them are assholes. You can just tell this movie's rushed, and they shouldn't rush sequels. I don't know why people want to rush sequels so much. Money. Anyways, but I do kind of enjoy this movie. This is a movie I can put in every now and then, have fun with it. But this is a movie I say stream it. This is not a movie where I say you should just skip it all around. But it's also a movie I don't recommend that you add to your horror movie collection or your movie collection. This is just a movie I say stream it on the nearest, pretty much the nearest streaming device that it is on, and check it out if you liked it. If you like it, that's your opinion, but if you don't like it, don't bother with it. But that is it for today. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe and bell notification so you will not miss any more of my upcoming videos. But until my next video, take care.